Here is my RS6 GT3, and here is my RS6 engine that we need to fix.
Mat Armstrong is a name that has become closely associated with high-performance vehicles, luxury living, and a bold, hands-on approach to turning passion into profit. His story isn't just about owning impressive machines, it's about building a life around them, reshaping setbacks into opportunities, and documenting the entire journey for millions to watch. What makes his rise especially compelling is how unconventional it is. While many dream of owning even a single exotic car, Mat built a reputation by doing the opposite of what most would consider safe buying: wrecked, damaged, or neglected high-end vehicles and bringing them back to life in front of an audience that's grown alongside him. His early life in Leicester, England laid the groundwork for everything that followed. Long before YouTube fame, he was immersed in mechanical environments, spending time in his father's garage and developing a natural understanding of how cars worked. But interestingly, his first serious pursuit wasn't in cars at all, it was BMX riding. He competed professionally, travelling and pushing himself physically, until a shoulder injury abruptly ended that chapter. Instead of stalling his momentum, that moment forced a pivot, and he redirected his focus towards something that had always been quietly present in his life: cars. Even before that turning point, he had already started experimenting with YouTube back in 2013, initially sharing BMX content. However, the real shift came when he began restoring cars on camera, starting with an Audi TT project tied to his girlfriend Hannah. That build became more than just a one-off, it set the tone for everything that followed. Viewers were drawn not just to the cars, but to the process, the challenges, the mistakes, and the eventual transformation. It turned his channel into something more than entertainment. It became a window into the realities of automotive restoration at a high level. As his audience grew, so did his income streams. YouTube monetization formed the backbone, but brand partnerships within the automotive world quickly followed. These collaborations, combined with sponsorships, allowed him to scale his projects. At the same time, he made another strategic move that many overlook: real estate. At just 21, he purchased his first property, renovated it, refinanced it, and rented it out. That single decision created a repeatable model for passive income, and he continued acquiring more properties using the same approach. It's this combination of content creation and smart investing that helped him build a net worth estimated around $4.5 million. Naturally, with that level of financial success, his garage reflects his ambitions. One of the standout vehicles in his collection is a heavily modified Lamborghini Gallardo. But this isn't just a stock supercar, it's something entirely reimagined. Originally producing around 552 horsepower, it was transformed with a twin-turbo setup pushing it to roughly 850 horsepower. The visual changes are just as dramatic, with a unique wrap combining Arctic camouflage and a bold orange stripe, along with an air suspension system that alters the car's stance. In typical Mat fashion, practicality wasn't ignored either. He even added a roof box, making it suitable for long-distance European road trips, including a memorable journey to Monaco. Another Lamborghini in his possession, the Murcielago, tells a very different story. It was purchased in a neglected state, having sat unused for years. What followed was a demanding rebuild filled with unexpected issues, oil leaks, worn interiors, and mechanical complications. Rather than hiding these challenges, he leaned into them, documenting every step. The project became one of the most engaging on his channel, especially when Lamborghini technicians eventually inspected the finished car. That blend of risk, effort, and payoff is a recurring theme in his work. His collection isn't limited to Italian supercars. The Aston Martin Vantage he acquired is another example of his willingness to take on difficult builds. Bought for significantly less than its market value due to heavy front-end damage, it turned into one of the most complex restorations he's undertaken. Parts were hard to source, the design posed technical challenges, and costs quickly added up. Still, after months of work, the car was brought back to life, enhanced with custom touches like a carbon fibre bonnet vent, and finished in a striking satin orange wrap. Then there's the Range Rover Vogue, the only SUV in his lineup, but no less significant. Like many of his cars, it started off in rough condition, with broken windows, worn interiors, and visible damage. Through a series of detailed restoration videos, he transformed it completely, even upgrading elements to match newer models. Custom alloy wheels and a sleek black finish gave it a modern, aggressive look, turning what was once a worn-out vehicle into something that looks showroom ready. Among his most technically challenging projects is the Porsche 911 GT3, a car with a complicated past. Previously owned by fellow YouTuber Adam LZ, it had been involved in a serious crash before Matt acquired it at auction. The damage was extensive, requiring major structural and mechanical replacements. On top of that, sourcing parts proved difficult due to manufacturer restrictions, forcing him to go to great lengths just to obtain what he needed. Despite the obstacles, he completed the build, eventually earning approval that confirmed the car was roadworthy again. It's the kind of project that highlights both his persistence and his growing credibility within the automotive world. His garage also includes several other notable cars such as a Porsche 718 Cayman S, a Mercedes C63 AMG, an Audi RS5, and a Maserati Gran Turismo. Each one adds a different dimension to his collection, reflecting both performance and variety. But cars are only part of the picture. Real estate continues to play a major role in his lifestyle. One of his most significant purchases is a mansion in Leicestershire worth around £1.6 million. Shared with his longtime partner Hannah, the property represents more than just luxury, it's a long-term vision. He has described it as his forever home, a place he plans to renovate and customize extensively. The space also accommodates his growing car collection, blending his personal and professional life into one cohesive environment. What stands out most about Mat Armstrong isn't just the cars, the money, or even the success, it's the method behind it all. He didn't follow a traditional path into wealth or recognition. Instead, he carved out a niche by taking risks others avoided, documenting the process honestly, and building multiple income streams along the way. His journey shows how a mix of skill, persistence, and calculated risk